Hello, my name is Sarah and I'm an event planner for the Orange County Library System, but I am also a published author. This week I am here to talk to you about what to do when an agent offers representation. Usually an agent will offer representation on a phone call. This is commonly called the capital call, capital T, capital C. As I mentioned in my previous video, when an agent sets up a phone call with you, it doesn't always mean that they're going to offer representation, but it often does. So if you find yourself on that phone call with an agent offering representation, here are some questions that you may want to ask them. I had the opportunity to interview best-selling author Angeline Booley, and she had several authors, and she told me that the most illuminating question that she asked on her calls was, when you were reading my manuscript, what was your sit up and take notice moment when you knew that you wanted to work on this story? She also told me that it was really helpful to her to keep notes as she interviewed each agent, because after a couple of them, they started running together a little bit, so she could keep all of her thoughts straight about each of the agents. Communication is very important to the agent-author relationship, so you're going to want to ask them about what their communication style is and what kind of response time you should expect from them. If you have communication needs or preferences that are different from their typical, are they able to accommodate you? This is especially important for disabled and neurodivergent writers. Ask them what their editorial style is. Some agents are heavily editorial and some are very much not editorial. There is no really right or wrong here. It all has to do with your personal preference. You'll also want to ask them the scope and type of edits that they want to make on this book before going out on submission. You'll especially want to make sure that they don't want to change something big that would be a deal breaker for you. If they're a newer agent, you're going to want to understand what kind of industry experience they have and also what kind of support they have at their agency. Ideally, you're going to know about the industry experience from researching them before you even get on the call, but it's really hard to know what kind of support an agent has at their agency without asking them. You're probably also going to want to ask them what happens if they don't sell this book. It's not fun to think about, but it happens quite often. Many agents want to invest in a writer's career and will still work with you on future books, but some agents are more on a book-to-book kind of basis, and you want to know that ahead of time before signing a contract. Don't hesitate to ask if you can speak to a couple of their current clients. You can fact-check some of their answers and get an author's opinion on what it's like to work with them. You can also speak to some of the clients that they don't give you contact info for, and we're going to talk more about that in a bit. Some other questions that you can ask if these answers are important to you include, for example, how many clients do you have? Now, that number may be misleading because some of those clients may be dormant, some of them may be involved in multi-book contracts, but some authors like to know this answer. You'll want to ask if their agency is set up to pursue foreign and subsidiary rights such as film or television. If you are interested in writing in other genres or age categories, you may want to ask them what happens whenever you write a book in that genre or category. You can also ask them to see a copy of the agency agreement. You can ask them what percentage of projects that they sign end up selling. This may be somewhat awkward and is not fun to talk about, but it is a fair question. You may also want to ask them about their submission process. What does it look like? How many editors do you send to at a time? How many rounds of submission do you do before giving up on a book, etc.? At the end of the call, thank them for offering and let them know that you have materials out with other agents and that you would like 2 weeks to make your decision. This is a common practice. I discussed this in my How to Get an Agent video that was published previously, so go watch that if you haven't yet. But immediately after the call, you're going to want to contact all the other agents that have your materials and let them know that you have an offer and give them as much time as possible so that they can read and respond. Once that is done, you'll want to do as much research as you can on the offering agent. Search for interviews that they've done online and go several pages deep in those Google search results. Feel free to peruse the agent's public social media profiles. If you can afford it, you can get a 1-month membership to Publishers Marketplace to get a full picture of the agent's prior sales. If the agent is newer and mentioned that they were being mentored by another agent, you may also want to look up their sales. You can also reach out to 1 or 2 of the agent's current clients and ask them if they have the time to talk to you about what it's like to work with that agent. I also recommend that you reach out to your writing groups, both in person and online, whatever writing communities you have, and ask if anyone has any information about that agent. If any of the other agents want to set up a call with you, you are going to repeat this whole process with each of them. Make sure to take notes. Once you have all of the offers and declines in, it is time to make your decision. It is not going to be an easy decision. You'll want to gather all the information that you have in one place so you can see it easily, but you also want to make sure you are listening to your intuition. For example, I got an offer from an agent who looked great on paper, but something just seemed off, and then I found out a couple of years later that my intuition was correct. So don't deny your gut. Once you've made your decision, you're going to want to politely let the offering agents know who you did not choose that you're going to go with another agent. Thank them for their time and their belief in your book. Then you can contact your future agent and let them know you have chosen them, and they will guide you through the rest of the process. Before I finish, I do want to caution that having a bad agent can be worse for your career than having no agent at all. I know after hearing so many no's, it can be really exciting to hear that first yes, but just make sure you do your due diligence in researching the agent so you don't find yourself in a bad partnership. I hope that this video has helped you prepare for receiving that first offer of representation from a literary agent. Good luck in your agent search.
Thank you for watching. To learn more about writing workshops and see more videos, visit ocls.info/writers corner. Orange County Library System is your place to learn, grow, connect.